Welcome back to Jen's Jungle, and this is Ebby and Cleo's 2025 April Adventure Cat Vlog. So our first trip was out to Rockford Common. This is this gorgeous sand dune out in the New Forest. Ebby took the lead here and we had a little wander around. Of course the dogs came along as well because they love joining the cats on their adventures. Cleo seemed a bit uncertain at first. But with a little bit of encouragement for Dora the dog, she soon perked up. This is such a beautiful spot and we were so lucky to have it all to ourselves, which meant the dogs could just wander around and we didn't have to worry about anyone else, which was fantastic. It can be a bit chaotic with the 3 dogs and the 2 cats, so we do prefer to come to quieter places where it's just a bit easier with the whole gang. But on the whole, the gang is really well behaved. But with 5 animals all going at their own pace, it's a lot easier when we have space and time. After we had a little explore, we found a nice spot to just sit and enjoy the sand dune. And this was lovely because for the first time I did let the cats off their leads. I'm very cautious of letting the cats off the leads in case they get freaked and dart for something or a dog or something comes along. I've recently invested in some trackers for them just in case, and as they are getting more confident, I thought it'd be nice for them to have a bit of free time wandering around. Ebby in particular absolutely loved this, whereas Cleo was a bit more chilled and just sat and relaxed. After having a bit of free time, we found a nice spot for a picnic. And the whole gang tucked in. The dogs, of course, being greedy, and Dylan is nicking Ebby's food. Greedy dogs. The cats will eat more once we're home though, so they will not starve, do not worry. We then just sat and enjoyed the view for a bit longer. Dylan, the old boy, sat with me, which was really lovely, whereas Dougal and Cleo hung out together, whereas Ebby and Dora did some exploring. This was a great adventure which the whole gang loved. It is so beautiful out here and it's lovely to finally be getting some sun. And finally it was time to head home. Our next adventure was to the amazing Netley Abbey. Now we absolutely love exploring historic places. I do think Dougal the dog can sort of sense old places and maybe sense some of their old inhabitants, if you know what I mean. Like and subscribe to learn more about Dougal the dog and his spooky feelings. So we headed inside. Cleo taking the lead this time. Both the cats have their own personalities and depending on how they feel in the day, one or the other will normally take charge. Like all of us, they can have their good days and their grumpy days. The dogs were full of energy this day. They just wanted to get in and explore, whereas the cats were taking their time a bit more. So as I said, this is the amazing Netley Abbey. It is an old monastery built in the 13th century. Lots of old monks lived here in the past, and then Henry VIII destroyed it and gave it to a mate of his, Sir William Portley, who turned it into a stately home. It was eventually abandoned. It was then visited by a lot of people in the romantic movement like Jane Austen, before being taken over by English heritage. The Tudor renovations were removed, so what you see now is the original 13th century abbey, and there's still a lot of it standing. And Cleo was loving exploring it all, whereas Dora was just being a silly puppy, as per usual. This place is really beautiful, and once again we were really lucky to have nearly all of it to ourselves, so we could just wander around and take our time here. Abby enjoyed doing some climbing. It does clearly state no climbing on the walls, but I'm hoping those rules were for humans, not for cats, because Abby loves climbing. The cats definitely enjoyed being here. They wanted to sniff every little bit, and it's amazing of how much is still standing. You can really see the architecture of this old place. Here the cats are just taking it all in. I think the doggy boys, Dylan and Dougal, were eager to get on, but there's no rushing Abby and Cleo. They take their time when they want to. Abby's now been going on adventures for nearly a year, so he is well used to being out and about. Cleo is still newer to adventures. He's only been out and about for a few months, and because it's been winter we've not been to that many places, so it's great now that we're heading into summer, and hopefully we can really start building her confidence as an adventure cat. You'll have to excuse some of my recording skills. It is hard to video record at the same time as keeping an eye on all the dogs and cats. And here Cleo is just looking marvellous. Eventually, after a bit more sniffing around, we decided to stop and have a little break. And we thought this was the perfect spot for a picnic. So we laid out our handy picnic rug, and all the dogs and cats got their plates. As per usual, the dogs took half of the cat's food, but I don't think Cleo and Abby minded too much, and I think they were just sitting and enjoying their surroundings. Dora here being very greedy for more, but she's only a puppy, so she gets away with it. I did make sure the cats got some licky treats so that they didn't go completely hungry. Licky treats are great for the cat adventures as they provide food and a bit of hydration for the cats, so we always come well stocked. After having our spot of lunch, we headed out for some more exploring. There is just so much to see here. I think Cleo just likes stopping and looking cute. We headed to this old outbuilding, which I think used to belong to one of the monks who lived in it. And the cats enjoyed some more climbing. The cats love nosing out at people and places. Ebby just taking his time, and Cleo following afterwards. I think the dogs definitely preferred running around, whereas the cats preferred poking their noses in all the little nooks and crannies. There has got to be a lot of compromise when you're out with 3 dogs and 2 cats. It definitely got warm through the day here, so we took Ebby's jumper off quite early, and then later on we actually took Cleo's jumper off. And this time is the first time that she has been a nudie out in public. But we did make sure to put some sun cream on her lovely skin. As a Sphinx cat, you have got to be really careful with the sun, as they can get sunburnt and can even develop cancer if you're not careful. I think the cats much more enjoy the warmer weather than the cold winter weather. They can be a little bit grumpy when it's cold or windy. I think we could have spent such a long time here. The cats were loving doing all the exploring. The dogs loved just running around. And it is just such a stunning spot. Sadly, however, we couldn't stay here all day. And eventually we did have to start thinking about making a move home. However, just as we were leaving, we found this cool little side bit. And we decided, you know what, it is so nice here. We will stop and have a little break before heading home. And I think the cats definitely approved of that. So we just chilled out for a little bit here and enjoyed the sun. And Cleo enjoyed some special snuggles. But soon enough, it was time to head home. This is a stunning place. We will definitely be back to do some more exploring. Pop a suggestion in the comments if you know any similar places we should check out. We do love old historic places. It would be great to hear any suggestions you guys have for some future adventures for the gang. Eventually we managed to round the 5 of them up together, and it was time to head off. Although I think Cleo wanted to stay. Our next adventure was a special one. We realised that neither Dora or Cleo had ever been on a train before. So we headed down to our local little steam train with the whole gang. Cleo and Ebby enjoyed a bit of fuss from the conductor before the train departed. They always get fussed over when they're out, and they love it. They are very people-orientated cats, and they love the fuss. Ebby's been on the train before, and he loves it. We weren't sure how Cleo was going to react, but she seemed to be very interested and enjoyed everything. She was such a good girl, sitting in her bag and looking out. She is a proper little lady. And you have just got to admire how cute they both look here. Cleo was just watching everything that was going past. She was fascinated. Dora the puppy also really enjoyed it. It's a lovely little train ride, this. It's about 20 minutes long. It's an actual steam train. It is dog and cat friendly, obviously, and we love this little spot. After a while, Ebby wanted to get out his bag, so he came and sat with me and Dylan. And here the two boys are just looking beautiful and enjoying the beautiful view. Dylan the dog, who is nearly 12 now, has always loved the steam train, so he is in his absolute element here. And once again, we were so lucky with the weather. Sadly, all too soon, the train ride was over and we pulled back into the station. However, luckily, the train is part of these beautiful gardens, so we then had a little look around the gardens. Both the cats wanted a ride in the backpack here. Well, Cleo in the backpack, Ebby on my shoulder, which is his favourite spot to be. I think he likes to be able to look around everywhere and lord it over everyone. But he did decide to jump down and have a little wander around. He, of course, had to lead the way and take his time. Ebby always does things in his way. But he certainly doesn't enjoy a stroll along. And you've got to admit, he looks very handsome here, strutting his stuff. The gardens here are absolutely beautiful. And there is just loads to see and enjoy. We are making most of every moment of sun we have at the moment. It was then Cleo's time to strut along. She also likes to take her time like a proper lady. There is no rushing when you're out with cats. Then thought it was time to have a little rest. And because it was a nice sunny day, we got a bit of ice cream. Now this place did do some doggy ice cream, and we did get the whole gang some dog ice cream. However, I think Cleo preferred the human stuff, so I did share a bit of my ice cream with her. This is just a special treat. This is not regular for the cats. Even cats deserve to be spoiled every now and again. Whereas Ebby just enjoyed sunbathing for a little bit. All too soon, it was time for the cats to jump in the backpack, and we headed home. Now we really crammed in the adventures this month. And up next was Knowlton Church. This is an old ruined church near where we live. It was a bit windy here, so I think Cleo preferred to stay in the bag. As a nudie, she can get more chilly, so we let her chill out in the bag, whereas Ebby had a little stroll around. He's been here before, so he does know the place. And he was able to lead the way around. Although I think he definitely prefers places with nice grassy surfaces, he was not too keen on the stones. I don't think he understands that not all places are tailor-made to little kitty cat Paws. He thinks the whole world should revolve around cats, which he's probably right about. Afterwards, we did pop to a local place for some lunch. Cleo was fast asleep in the bag, whereas Ebby was being his usual nosy self, looking all around us. And of course, no month would be complete without a couple of trips to our local park, one of Ebby's favourite places. He knows the way, and he loves coming here. And you can't blame the little fella. He led the way, strutting his stuff. It is just so beautiful here. We are so lucky. I don't think the cats realise how lucky they are with all their adventures and all the trips. This is one of Ebby's favourite trees to climb, although he didn't fancy climbing today. Instead, we just preferred to sit and enjoy the sun and the views. Our final trip of the month was a special girls trip with just Cleo and Dora. We grabbed some lunch, we did some shopping, and we got the girls these super cute matching jumpers. And then of course no girls trip would be complete without stopping for a little coffee, where of course Cleo got her pup cup, which she adores. We did let Dora try some as well, but she was not so keen, poor little thing. So Cleo helped her out with her share. This is everything we bought, and this is a little hint to something that's coming up soon for Dora. So all in all, we've had lots of adventures this month. It has been a tiring month for the gang, but it has been great fun. We've got so much more planned this year. Drop us any suggestions you might have in the comments, and like and subscribe to follow all their adventures. Bye!
All the hassle we've had with octopus, I don't